Tonight on CTV News, we give you an inside look at the women's marches happening around the country. Plus, we preview Black History Month and the events taking place at CSU.
All this plus weather, sports, and more on CTV starting now. Good evening and thanks for tuning in to our first show back from the break. I'm Grace Reeder.
And I'm Emily Biffinger.
February is Black History Month, but Fort Collins has started the celebration a little bit early with the Martin Luther King Jr. March. CTV reporter Kiara Coles has the story.
On January 16th, Fort Collins held its annual Martin Luther King Jr. Day March. Each year, hundreds of people gather in Old Town Square to celebrate the life of the Black rights activist leader.
Look at this crowd. Look at everybody. Thank you so much for coming out here this morning.
The event kicks off with recognition of the march leaders, followed by a short speech from various CSU members who are heavily involved in African American history, to include Ali Reza, the program coordinator of campus activities, and Dr. Raymond Black, assistant professor of the Ethnic Studies Department.
Dr. King had a dream that did not start with him and does not end with you.
Afterwards, the march headed towards the Laurie Student Center, where further activities were set to take place, including a speech from CSU's president, Tony Frank. Black History Month officially kicks off on February 1st. The Black African American Cultural Center hosts many events throughout the entirety of the month to include multiple discussions surrounding Black history movements, as well as movie showings, step shows, and other related activities.
Are you going to live on his legacy or act? Here is the test.
Since 1976, every United States president has officially deemed the month of February Black History Month. The Black African American Cultural Center on campus has a full month of speakers, events, and more, which highlight accomplishments and contributions of African Americans in today's society and throughout history. You can find events, times, and dates on the Black African American Cultural Center's website or BAACC at colostate.edu.
On Tuesday, CSU and Tony Frank are hosting an open forum in an attempt to allow CSU students to publicly ask the president questions they may have. A mass email was sent to the CSU community, invited both students and staff to attend. The event does not require an RSVP and will be held from 2 to 3 p.m. in the Cherokee Ballroom in the LSC.
On Monday night, residents of Fort Collins can attend the annual State of the City address. Mayor Wade Troxel will speak regarding mainly innovation and co-creation, according to the Collegian. This event is open to the public and the city is encouraging resident participation. Doors open for the event at 5:30 and the meeting is being held from 6 to 7. If you're unable to participate or wish to ask questions in advance, use the hashtag CSUCREA. As of today, nobody has used the hashtag.
Denver was host to one of the largest branches of the Women's March that took place this past Sunday. The mission statement of the march is, all people, regardless of gender, gender identification, ethnicity, racial heritage, religion, disability, age, sexual orientation, and/or socioeconomical status, shall be treated equally with respect and dignity according to the March on Denver's official Facebook page. This Sunday, 500 U.S. cities were attended by at least 3.3 million people during the Women's March. 100,000 were marching in the streets of Denver alone. I asked some of the participants why they were there that morning.
I'm marching, well, mostly I'm working with Moms Demand Action, and we are working towards gun sense in America. So I'm marching for women, and I'm marching just to have our voices heard, to stand up with the women and people of America.
Oh my God, because there's so much going on, but we just need to all stand together. Everybody's rights are human rights, so yeah.
The current state of political reality in this country is frightening.
To stand up for human rights and the environment, and my son, who is Vietnamese American, and just, you know, civil rights, everything.
I'm marching here today for women's rights, for African American rights, for civil rights in general. I'm also here to support women and for all of us women to come together to also for the Supreme Court, because I think that that's very important coming up, because what Donald Trump will have is the ability possibly to appoint 5 Supreme Court justices, which could be very, very conservative and therefore affect women's health care, you know, health care of everybody. So yeah, that's why I'm here.
some marchers had advice to give to the college students here at CSU.
Find strong women and embrace them.
Find your passion, find your voice, and stand up and find it young.
Yes, all you young women out there, don't be afraid and just make some noise. Don't wait your whole life to make it. Start today.
These marches are happening throughout the world. It's not just in the United States. And look at this.
Call Congress every day.
This is the most spirited march that I've been at since the March Against Vietnam.
For more information, please visit marchoncolorado.org. We are going to take a quick break, but when we return, we will talk to our reporter, Todd Monito, about a protest in the city.
We'll also chat with our live reporter, Michael Angelo, who has an update on some construction that may affect your commute to campus. Don't miss it.
Tune in to KCSU, your student-run radio station at Colorado State University. Live 24 hours a day, every day at 90.5 FM and kcsufm.com. Live local new music now, and news, talk, and sports. KCSU, the radio voice of Colorado State, on the air since 1964.
You're watching CTV, produced by Colorado State University students, bringing you news, weather, sports, and entertainment from campus and beyond. CTV live Monday through Thursday at 7 p.m. on campus and Fort Collins on Channel 11. Repeats at midnight, 8 a.m., noon, and 2 p.m.
The Rocky Mountain Collegian is your student-run news and information platform. Pick up your paper on campus or around Fort Collins Monday through Thursday with special editions Fridays. And check out collegian.com anytime for all the latest updates. News, sports, entertainment, opinion, and more. The Rocky Mountain Collegian, serving Colorado State since 1891.
College Avenue has been your student magazine for the last 10 years. College Avenue prints once a month covering topics that are relevant to the CSU and Fort Collins community. We also print special editions like the graduation guides at the end of each semester, the best of CSU each fall, and the orientation guide each summer. Look for us on racks around campus, off campus, or online at collegian.com under the College Avenue tab.
Welcome back from the break. We're now joined by CTV reporter Todd Monito, who attended the protest of City Council Tuesday as they reviewed legislation to reserve space in Larimer County jails for those who are resting in the Fort Collins area. Many believed that this was directed only at the homeless population. Todd, what did you see at this event? What was kind of the general vibe?
It was passionate. There was a lot of people who really believed that this ordinance should not be passed, and that and they were willing to come out in the freezing cold of the night to express their beliefs.
And did you see any city council members, or do you think that this did make some impact?
I didn't see any city council members, but they did go inside to watch the ordinance be presented, and I believe it did have an impact. They got a lot more of a positive response from the city council members than they expected.
And then how many people do you think showed up approximately?
There was probably about 20 people, so not a huge crowd, but enough to show that people really do care about this.
Yeah, and then anything else you saw or wanted to add, Todd?
Just that there's quite a few citizens who are really passionate about not letting this ordinance pass and protecting the rights of the homeless.
Definitely, that's amazing that they went out for that. Well, thank you, Todd, so much for being on and sharing that experience with us.
And we're going to see some video from Todd now about his experience there.
Homeless rights are under attack. What do we do? Rise up, fight back.
The ordinance is designed to primarily keep people from sitting or lying down or staying in Old Town. And actually, it's one of several pieces of legislation we've seen happening in cities across the country, which is primarily designed to keep people who are homeless moving. So if you're homeless in Fort Collins, you'll be required to just keep moving constantly. You can't sit, you can't rest. So we're very much opposed to it.
What do we do? Rise up, fight back! Homeless rights.
We came out last night and witnessed the City Council work session about it, and we also had a rally in front of City Hall before it started to just raise attention about how problematic this ordinance would be. In this City Council chambers on March 7th, there will be a vote to decide whether or not we want to criminalize homelessness and poverty in our city even more than we already have. The Fort Collins Homeless Coalition feels like that's completely unacceptable. We don't want to have a ban on the ability to sit or lie in public spaces. Public spaces are for the public and they're for everyone.
What do we do? Rise up, fight back!
Thank you so much for that, Todd. We are now going to our live reporter, Michael Angelo Bustamante, who has an update on some of the construction around campus and how it might affect your commute.
Thanks, Grace and Emily. I'm here at the intersection of Elizabeth and Shields, where crews have been working on a major construction project to build an underpass below Shields. This is one of the busiest intersections in town, with the city of Fort Collins estimating that over 50,000 cars and 2,000 bikes go through this intersection every single day. The volume of traffic has been steadily increasing over the past couple of years, and it's only expected to keep growing as the university keeps getting bigger and bigger. Naturally, this increase in traffic has led to a higher than normal rate of accidents occurring here. To help solve this problem, CSU and the city of Fort Collins have teamed up to build this underpass. The goal is to finish the project by August of 2017, with CSU picking up the $11 million tab. The second phase of this project will cause Shields to be closed from February 25th to March 17th. This construction has caused a lot of concern for these local Campus West businesses. They worry that construction will deter people away from coming to their stores. Most of the Campus West shops are very small mom and pop shop businesses that can't really handle the enormous financial burden that this will cause. Local businesses are encouraging CSU students to continue coming to their stores, even during the construction, as many of them will remain open. While there's a lot of concern, CSU and the city of Fort Collins remain optimistic that this project is only going to help improve the flow of traffic and reduce the amount of accidents in this area. CSU believes that this will be a gateway between the university and Campus West. We'll be bringing you more updates as this story continues to develop. But for now, back to you guys in the studio.
Thanks, Michael Angelo. Emily, do you think that this is going to cause problems getting to and from school?
Honestly, I think it will. Shields is already a very congested area of campus. I know there's a lot of bicyclists and just a lot of people walking to school as well, and that makes it really difficult.
Well, at least this will kind of help that a little bit.
Definitely. Well, when we return from our break, we will talk to a recent graduate of CSU that is running for city council.
Don't go away.
Don't worry, 74 people were picked before me in the NFL draft.
To fight childhood obesity, United Way and the NFL are helping kids play at least 60 minutes a day.
Okay, time for the team obstacle course. Yay!
What this place needs is more healthy kids. To get involved or donate, go to unitedway.org/play60.
Now I get it.
Morning, Gary. We are GetSchooled.com. You want a college education, don't you? You know you do. That's why we're here. We're free and here to guide you through every step of the way, starting with attendance. Gary, financial aid forms. Picking a college, man. You and us. We go together like tacos and Tuesday.
And I love tacos. Go to GetSchooled.com.
Welcome back from the break. We are now joined by Duane Hansen, a recent CSU graduate who is now running for City Council in Fort Collins. Thank you so much for being here. We really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
So first of all, how has your time at ASCSU and at CSU helped prepare you for your political career beyond college?
Well, very similar to how you guys are working in this room right now, doing journalism and whatnot. It's an hands-on activity that actually supplements what you're learning in the classroom. But I've actually been in student governments student governance for 6 years. 1 year was working at the state level. And so I think this has prepared me for learning the policy and seeing those different proposals brought forward to City Council and the engagement aspect to get citizen impact or input in how you want to address those policies being presented.
And then going forward, what are your platforms that you're running on?
So the biggest key platforms that I have right now are affordable housing and just helping to curb the escalating cost of housing in the city of Fort Collins, transportation alternatives and supplementing multimodal transportation, as well as creating more business diversity so that we don't have all of our eggs in just one basket and that we keep our economy healthy moving forward.
And then do you think that your time at CSU has kind of influenced what those platforms are for you?
Oh, absolutely. I've lived in this community for 30 years and I've seen how those issues have become more and more at the forefront of challenges that people in Fort Collins are dealing with every day.
Yeah, and then I just noticed that you stayed in the Colorado and the status quo is no longer serving the people of Fort Collins. We need to bring in a fresh perspective, and I was just wondering how you're planning on bringing in those fresh perspectives.
Well, thank you very much for that one. One of the big things that I have seen out of City Council so far, especially out of District 5, is a lack or a perceived lack of citizen engagement. If you've noticed, I've got a Facebook platform, a Twitter platform. I've got many ways to engage on my website. As well as I've already started to go out and speak to different businesses in the community who, when I spoke to them, have said that they have had almost no contact with their council representative. And I don't think that's the way that business should be run at our city leadership. And so I would be more engaging in our community, not just businesses, but also with students and with single-family homeowners and entrepreneurs in our city.
And definitely. So because District 5 is a heavily student-run area, do you think that will actually help you in this election?
Well, it's the second highest population for students in the city in terms of districts. And I think what it allows is different avenues to get different feedback into City Council. We saw a lot of that when ASCSU, for example, was trying to push U+2 reform. There are some aspects or perspectives that I believe aren't being quite as heard in City Council, and this will just be one avenue of input that I think is currently lacking.
And then you said you've been in Fort Collins for 30 years, but what made you stay? What makes you want to start your political career here?
Honestly, I love Fort Collins. It's especially the summers. You go out, you can ride your bike almost anywhere. You can go hiking, camping. There's skiing during the winter. If you're into that, I'm more the sip hot cocoa and sit by the fire kind of guy. We have probably one of my favorite things is the booming microbrewery industry. There's just so many things to love in Fort Collins. Why not stay?
And then what is kind of your end goal in your political career?
Well, be it elected office or just working behind the scenes in policy or administration, anything like that. Really, the big thing for me is empowering more people to be engaged in our politics. We're seeing record low turnouts across the board, and that to me is just something that shouldn't be happening in this country or in our community. And if it's elected, be it in law like a DA or be it in a more city leadership or legislative role, I just really want to make an impact and empower more people to be engaged.
And then because you're a recent CSU grad, do you think you're going to focus a lot on relations between Fort Collins and CSU?
It will be balanced. So like I said, there are a lot of stakeholders in the city. You've got businesses, single-family homeowners, entrepreneurs, and then you've got students who have somewhat been lacking. But when CSU is one of the largest employers in the city of Fort Collins, you also have to consider the administration. You also have to consider faculty and staff members that live here. So there will be, continued outreach. And as I said before, it's going to be community-wide, not just limited to one or two avenues of outreach.
Then is there anything else that you'd like to say or add?
I would just like to say thank you very much for the opportunity to come up here and speak.
Yeah, well, thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Again, thanks. And after the break, we're going to take a look at a new radar that has been donated to CSU with who other than Elizabeth Prossie. We'll be right back.